Thank you so much for joining. So I just thought that tomorrow being Ekadashi, it would be good if we can connect. And if you had any questions about Ekadashi, we could look at it. So before we, some tapping sound. Okay, I'm not sure why this tapping sound is for, because I'm not using anything. So before we begin with the questions, I'll just briefly let you all know how you can fast tomorrow. I think most of you would already be knowing because you have watched many videos about Ekadashi, etc. But just for the sake of those who have joined for the first time, I'll just spend a few minutes take you through how you can fast tomorrow. And after that, if you have any questions relevant to fasting or related, we can even look at them. So first of all, on Ekadashi, which happens in the lunar calendar every 14 days. So this is something which was set so that people can fast regularly, and it's something which you can make use of, because every 40 to 48 days you will see there are at least 3 days in which the system can go without food, and you will see that if you fast on these days, it will be very beneficial for your system because the body doesn't require food. So since people didn't have this awareness, they fixed Ekadashis, which comes every 14 days in the lunar cycle. So at the Isha ashram, if you come, you see that every Ekadashi, the inmates, they fast, the residents, and they fast in this particular way that, for example, tomorrow being Ekadashi, so what happens is they skip brunch. So in the Isha Yoga Center, they have only two meals, brunch and dinner. So they'll skip brunch and they'll just have dinner. So today they would have had dinner, and then next meal will be tomorrow dinner on Ekadashi. So 24 hours fasting, ideally on just water. So this is the best way to fast. But some of them are not able to just survive only on water. So what they do is in the morning for brunch, they have some ashgard juice or sanjeevni kanji, which is a mixture of various grains. So you can have that also. If you're finding it difficult to fast for 24 hours with just water, then the next best thing you can do is just have, something which is lighter to digest, like fruits or ashgard juice, or sanjeevni kanji, which is a mixture of different grains. It's like a porridge which is easy to digest. So this is something which you can do. So that is the ideal way to fast on just water. See that you are sufficiently hydrated. If you can sip warm water, then that will be fine. You will see you'll be fine throughout the day. So if you had dinner tonight at, usually if you have dinner at 8 p.m., so once you finish your dinner, then the next meal will be on Ekadashi dinner. So 24 hours gap. So that's how it should be done. So if you're doing your yoga practices, if you're doing your yogic practices, which you have learned, you will see fasting should be easy for you to do. It won't be much difficult. And for any normal healthy person, fasting for 24 hours should be quite easy to pull off. It shouldn't be something which should be a struggle for most people. And if at all, if there is a struggle, then it could be because, of either you're having an ailment, or because you have been abusing your body with a lot of nervous stimulants like tea, coffee, etc., or because of improper lifestyles and foods. So that is something which could be possible. So Ekadasi is a time when you can try to see if you can correct this. And also on Ekadasi, this is not a day to take rest, and just because you're not having food to rest it out. This is a day when you can continue doing whatever activity which you're doing in spite of not eating. So this is something which can also strengthen you tremendously. And you should also feel for all the people, there's so many people in this world who are not even getting 2 square meals a day. And this is something also an opportunity for us to bring this awareness and have this gratitude towards food, because if you just go without one meal on Ekadashi, you will see what a difference food is making in your life. So just to see, have this gratitude towards food, this is also an opportunity for us to look within ourselves and see how much this is making our life, and to treat food as something which is, which is a life-giving material, which is not a commodity, but which is a life-giving material. So if this gratitude has to come, if you just give sufficient gap where you can notice how the food is sustaining your life, then it can also help you to bring about a certain sense of gratitude towards the food which you are consuming. So this is the best way you can try fasting. So try and see if you can sustain tomorrow. And if you are finding it difficult, you can have even amla. Amla is something which can help ward off hunger. So if you can chew on amla, the Indian amla, which is the gooseberry, if you can maybe just keep it in your mouth region for a few hours, you will see it can help you ward off hunger as well. So that is something which you can do. And if you are not part of our WhatsApp group, you can maybe consider joining that so that you can get updates throughout the day. We'll be posting updates and seeing that you can continue your fast effortlessly. And even after the fast is over, we keep sharing experiences of people who have fasted. So it's a great support system. We also post reminders on the group. So you can go to our website yogi.com, and there'll be an option to join the WhatsApp group or the broadcast group. So you can even join that and be a part of it. So whenever there are Ekadashis and apart from it, daily yogic updates, you will keep getting on the group. So now we can move on to some questions if you have about fasting. Okay, let me look at the questions. Okay, so one question is one who wants to put on weight, is Ekadashi helpful for them? See, irrespective of whether you want to put on weight or you want to lose weight, Ekadashi is something which is very helpful. Fasting will be very beneficial because fasting is not for weight loss. We are not looking at fasting so that you can lose weight or you can do something just for your health. This is a process which can have multiple benefits, not just health benefits, but it can also be a very deep spiritual process for you if you take it that way. Because staying without food when you're looking to have this, and consciously staying without food, not torturing your body, but just consciously staying without food, going without food, and irrespective of that, still doing whatever activity which you're doing, this is something which can strengthen you tremendously from within. So it's something this is something which you should experience. Only then you'll know what it is doing to you. So apart from this, it has many health benefits for sure. It can cleanse your system. If all the time you're loading your system with food without any break, it can definitely cause a toll on the system, and the system needs to rejuvenate. It needs to clear out all the toxins, and it's a certain break needs to be given regularly to the system. So even for health purposes, it is very, very highly beneficial to take a break. You will see even animals do this. They are not having food all 365 days. Some animals, they just have one hunt, and after that they're done for a few weeks. So it's just we human beings who have lost this awareness, and we feel that all the days are good for eating. 365 days or any time of the day is good for eating. This is one of the major reasons why people are facing a lot of ailments today. And majority of the ailments are because of improper food and how you're having food. So it's very important that you give your system a rest. It doesn't matter whether you are looking to put on weight or looking to lose weight, or just you're on a normal weight and you're just looking to maintain. This has much more benefits than that, and you shouldn't look at fasting just as a way to lose weight. Because if you just have to lose weight, then there are many other things which you need to do. You need to take care of your food, not just on Ekadasi, but regularly you need to do that. You need to bring in some yogic practice in your life, and you need to do sufficient physical activity. So many things you need to take care of. So don't look at this as a process to lose weight or anything like that. So this is something which has far more powerful benefits which anyone can make use of. So please see if you can fast irrespective of that. Okay, let me see if I can look at some more questions. Can I take soaked peanuts in the morning? This is something you can decide. It's ideal, as we looked at, to go with just water on Ekadasi. If you can manage to fast with just water, that's the best way. But if it is difficult for you to sustain, then you can have groundnuts or fruits or juices, etc. But if this is something which you're taking as part of the process, if you're doing some sadhana, for example, if you're doing Shivanga sadhana or something, and as part of the process, if they are asking you to consume something, then that's different. Otherwise, it's not necessary. You can see if you can just go on water. Can diabetics fast? This is again depends on the health situation. We cannot put any common label or a rule for all diabetics, people who are facing problems like diabetes or other chronic ailments, because it depends on the severity of your condition. So I have come across many people who have diabetes and who are fasting successfully, so they have been able to fast without any issues. But there are many others who will struggle if they just go without food. Even if as much if they skip a meal, they will find it very difficult, and even nutritionists may advise against it. So you have to see your own condition and take a call. For most people, if they are practicing yogic practices like Shambhavi or Hatha Yoga, Shakti Chalana Kriya, and if their sugar levels are under control, and if this is something which they are keeping up the practices and the sugar levels are under control, then it should be possible for them also to fast. But if your sugar levels are not under control and they are very high, or the reverse, if suppose you feel that your sugar levels are not balanced, and the severity of your disease is quite high, then you may need have to consult your physician and see whether it is possible for you. Maybe if it is not possible for you to go for a full fast, you can try to see if you can maybe reduce your intake. You can try to see if you can have porridges instead of having a full meal. You can have ragi porridge or sanjeevani porridge, and you can have fruits. See if that is possible for you if you can't go on a full fast. So this is something which you have to take a call based on your condition, and if needed you can also consult with your physician and see. Don't just attempt it if you know your condition is very severe and you are unable to manage. So you have to take a call based on your condition. But there are definitely many people who have shared with us who are having diabetes that they are able to fast successfully, and it has helped them tremendously. Okay. Kanji has wheat, so can we take while fasting? See, again, this is completely up to you. There are some people, who advise against taking any grains on Ekadashi. So they say not to have rice, wheat, etc., not to have grains. So there are people who follow that. So, but this we are not looking at from any traditional angle or from any particular rule as such. We are just looking at in terms of what is easily digestible for the system. So if at all, if you have to take some food on Ekadashi, ideal is if you can go without food. But if you have to take some food, if you cannot manage, then it is best to eat something which is easier for the system to digest. So if you wish to skip, the porridge, that is fine. You can even have juice, or you can have fruits. But even otherwise, if you take this, the idea is just that it may be easier for the system to digest and help you keep yourself full throughout for at least a few hours. So that's the idea. So that is totally up to you. If you wish to avoid grains, that is something which you can also do. As I said, ideally it is best if you can do with just water. That is the best way to fast. There are some people who ask, can they do even without water? So this is something which you should not try to push yourself. If it happens naturally for you, there are many people who share every Ekadashi that they didn't even feel the need for drinking water and they were able to fast without even having water. So if it happens naturally for you, it's fine. But otherwise, you need not push yourself to go on a completely dry fast. Sufficiently hydrating yourself will be good actually. Otherwise, you may tend to be dizzy or get headaches, etc. So these could be also symptoms that you're not having enough water. So one way to make the fast easy would be if you can have sufficient water throughout the day. If you can sip warm water throughout the day, it will be easier for you to fast. And also you'll notice that whenever it is your meal time, for example, if you're having breakfast at 8 a.m. or if you're having lunch at 2 p.m. So you will see then the stomach will signal that at that point of time you will feel hungry, and you will see that there'll be need to eat food. So if you just recognize that signal that the stomach is asking for food and you don't eat at that point of time, you just drink some water, you will see after half an hour, 1 hour, it will again settle down because it will see that you haven't eaten anything, and then after that it will signal that to release energy from the reservoir, and then again you will feel a sense of energy. So that's how the system functions. It will give you a signal that it is time to eat. It will give you a reminder, and if you don't take care of that, if you still don't eat, then it will release energy from its reservoir. Then again after some time it will give you a reminder and you will feel hungry. Again, if you ignore that reminder, then it will release the next quota of energy. So like this, if you just are aware, you will see that easily for 24 hours you can go without food. You just have to not give in to that signal, because it's the body's way of reminding you to eat if you have forgotten. But if you recognize that that is the way, and just have some water if needed and just wait for half an hour or 1 hour, you'll see then that body will release its next quota of energy and you'll be fine. So this is something you can be aware of, and it will help you to fast easily. Okay, I got C-section for my first baby. Can I do fasting? So again, don't push yourself if you have just delivered, and if this is something which you may need to tread carefully. So just I would say, maybe if you're not able to do a full fast, try to go on a fruit diet instead. And depends on your condition, how you're doing right now. So if you have just come home from this delivery and it's been some time, it's just recently, then you just take care so that you're having enough food, and you can consult your physician and then take a call. As I said, for normal cases generally it shouldn't be a problem, but since you just said that you went through a delivery and that was C-section, so you will have to take care. So don't push yourself. If it is something which is happening easily for you and you have been fasting regularly, then it is fine. But otherwise, see if you can go on a fruit diet or have porridges instead of a full fasting. So you just listen to your body and see. Idea is not to forcibly fast. It's not to abstain from food forcibly, but to fast consciously, to see if you can make it a conscious process where your body can very easily go without food. Torturing the body is not the way to go about it, because this is not about proving a point to someone that I was able to fast. This is about just seeing how to become more conscious in terms of when not to consume food. Because just as how what you eat is important, when not to eat is also equally important. And recently, if you see, there's been a lot of research happening where people have realized how fasting can bring about tremendous benefits, health benefits in a person. So there's a lot of research going on. And even if you go to YouTube and search about fasting, you will see so many videos, and people have started realizing that how fasting is beneficial. There are even terms like intermittent fasting, which have become very popular nowadays, where even nutritionists are suggesting to do intermittent fasting every day, which is to have at least 16 hours gap between your last meal and your next meal in the morning. So these things have picked up momentum nowadays because people have realized the importance of fasting, and many physicians are also acknowledging the same. But this is something which was known in the yogic system from a long time, because if you just observe your own body, you will see that very easily it can go without food on certain days. So it was just about being conscious of that cycle and fasting on those days. So this is something which you can do. And also about that intermittent fasting, if you just follow the timings, for example, if you just have 2 meals a day, let's say 10 a.m. in the morning brunch and 7 p.m. in the evening dinner. So that's anyway you are doing intermittent fasting, because from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. 10 a.m. it's almost you like 15 hours gap. and that's how it's followed at the Isha Yoga Center. They serve only two meals. The first meal will be brunch at 10 a.m. or 10:45. And the second meal will be dinner at 7 p.m. or 7:45. So that's how they do, and you'll see that it cleanses your system. Every day, if you just do this, if you maintain sufficient gap between two meals, at least 8 hours gap between two meals, if you maintain, the system will cleanse. So that's very important to not just fast on Ekadasi, but also on a daily basis. If you maintain at least 8 hours gap between two meals, especially those of you who are above 30 years of age, you should just switch to two meals a day. Those who are less than 30 years, you can still have three meals. Okay, someone's asking, is it conducive for the body to break the Ekadasi fast after sunset? Because in Ayurveda it says our digestive fire tends to slow down after sunset. So it is fine. I don't know about Ayurveda. I'm not very aware about Ayurveda, especially what they say in terms of food, etc. So yeah, here in what we are looking at is what Sadhguru has mentioned, and this is what has been what is being followed at the Isha Center as well, where all the residents, they break the fast after sunset. They also have the dinner after sunset. So I don't see any issue in that having food after sunset. But if those of you, if you wish to, you can even do a more than 24 hours fast. You can even skip dinner and have meal the next day morning. So some of them even do that actually. So let's say you just had dinner tonight, and tomorrow is Ekadasi. So full day you go without food, and then you break fast the next day. So that's almost 36 hours of fasting. So if you wish to do that and you are able to sustain, you can even do that. But otherwise, just 24 hours fasting should also be very good for your system, to cleanse your system. And you can break the fast after sunset if that's how you are having dinner. But suppose your normal dinner timings are much earlier, then you can even keep up to that. You can see how you can maintain 24 hours fast and break it at that normal time. So that's something which is up to you. You see, some of them are just having one meal a day. So if you're just on one meal a day, you may be already having your meal earlier in the day. So if you wish, you can just keep on at that particular time. For example, if you're having just at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., you can you are anyway doing Ekadashi fasting every day almost, because you're just having one meal a day and maintaining 24 hours gap. So then you need not do anything else separately because you're anyway doing that. So you have to see how your body is and what is your meal system, and you can accordingly manage. Also, some of you had this confusion about dates, that why is it that Ekadashi is showing on October 12th in the Isha calendar and October 13th in some other calendars online. So this could happen, especially for dates like Ekadashi, etc. You will see sometimes it could overlap across 2 days, and some calendars, will choose the former day, and some calendars will choose the latter. So based on which calendar you are referring to, some may say that October 12th is Ekadashi and some may say October 13th is Ekadashi. So it's best if you just stick to one calendar. So whichever calendar you choose, just stick to it throughout the year and you can follow accordingly. We have been posting on our groups according to the Isha lunar calendar. So if you are in USA or you are in India, you can get a copy of that. You can just go online and search for Isha lunar calendar India or Isha lunar calendar USA. You'll find these two calendars online available on their websites. And if you're from any other country, you can even go to websites like astroica.com, astroica.com. You can even go there and check when is Ekadashi on for your particular country, and you can fast on that day. So you can see whichever calendar works for you. There is no hard and fast rule. Whichever calendar you're following, just stick to that throughout the year. That's the best way to do it. We have been following the Isha lunar calendar. Okay. I want to do a yogic diet session. Okay, so we do these yogic diet sessions called as Ahar. So these are online programs. Currently, we're doing it online. So we haven't scheduled the next program yet. We just finished it last week. We had a program last week, and when we schedule this next, we'll be posting on our WhatsApp groups and also on our social media. So if you're not part of it already, please join so that whenever we announce our next program, you can know and you can register for it. So in this particular program, we cover about all the elements of a yogic diet, like what is needed for you in terms of what to eat, more importantly, how to approach food, and we try to integrate everything together, because if you just try to do on your own, you will see there are so many things which you need to take care of, and most people get confused implementing it because they come across so many sources of information that they find it too overwhelming sometimes to manage things. So for you, such a for if you're finding this difficulty, then a structured program like this could help, because we try to assimilate everything, put it in one place, and deliver it in a way so that it becomes easy for you to implement. Apart from it, if you have any questions, we usually help you to clear them during the session, and it provides you the much needed inspiration for you to start implementing about all these aspects and make it a part of your life. And we also do yogic cooking sessions where you'll also learn how to cook a yogic meal at home easily. So you can take part in these sessions if you're interested in learning more about yogic diet and cooking. Can we add honey to warm water during fasting? It's not necessary. It's just best if you just have plain water. Only if you're finding it difficult, then you can maybe add honey. Otherwise, just plain water, you try and see if you can do without it. See if you can go on a complete fast with just water. Just plain water, that's the best way to fast. Can kids do Ekadashi fasting? Will it not reduce their energy levels? That is something, it depends on the kids actually. Not all of them will be keen to fast, but we have come across many kids who have fasted and they have been able to do it easily. So, just last month, I think we did a program and we had about a 12-year-old who fasted. So, he didn't go on a complete water fast, but he was having fruits instead. So, I would suggest that if kids wish to try, it's good if they wish to try, it's fine. It's not something which will reduce the energy levels. Maybe you can they can consider going on a fruit diet or having a light diet like kanji diet, porridge diet, instead of going on a complete fast if they are finding it difficult. So need not push kids to do this. It's mainly for the adults if they can. But if kids wish to do this and if they are able to do it without much difficulty, then it's good. At least they can become aware of it earlier. And we have seen that a lot of kids show interest. I've personally seen that people, especially kids, are more open. If they just receive this information at the right age, they take this very enthusiastically. So we do these Srishti online programs where we talk to kids about nature, about being in touch with nature, about doing yoga practices, about eating healthy, and all these aspects we integrate into the program. And to my utter surprise, like when I first did this program, I thought that kids won't be interested in these aspects, and especially with respect to food, they may not be very open to change. But I was really surprised at the kind of response, because they were eagerly listening and they had so many questions about food. Can I eat this? Can I eat that? And when they came to know that these kind of foods are suitable for the system and what foods are not suitable for the system, many of them, they immediately went back home and they were fighting with their parents that why are you giving me this food? Please stop this. I don't want to eat this. And so many of them have changed after this, you know. So it is something which they take up very enthusiastically. And we have been doing this Rishti online program since then, since because we have not been able to do the offline programs. So even tomorrow we are starting a program, a new batch. If you have kids in the range from, if you have children or teenagers in the age range from 7 to 16 years, I would encourage you to take part in. I encourage you to tell them to take part in this program. It will be very beneficial if they can get exposed to these aspects very early in their life, so that they would know what kind of foods are suitable for them, and they can make these choices consciously. Otherwise, they tend to think that whatever they are offered, whether it's pizzas or burgers or Coke or Pepsi, these are things which they can't live without. So it's very important the younger generation gets exposed to this knowledge and they become more aware at an early age. Personally, I didn't know about all these aspects very early in my life, so I missed it. But nowadays, kids have this opportunity, and as a parent, if you are aware, it's good if you can make your kids also aware early about these aspects, and you can see whatever best they can implement. Things like eating raw food, maintaining sufficient gap between meals, chewing their food thoroughly, and eating with gratitude, eating consciously, eating silently, eating with bare hands. Very easily these things they can pick it up early in their life. So we have seen a lot of change happening with kids, especially if they get this information early. So I would definitely encourage all of you parents, if you are there, to see if you can expose your kids to this knowledge very early on, and to try and encourage them to implement this. So those of you who can, if you are available, see if they can participate. If they are still available, from tomorrow we have a 7 days program. If you go to our website yogiri.com, you'll find the details of the program. Okay. Can Which book would you recommend to read? Taste of Well-being. Yeah, Taste of Well-being would be very good if you wish to learn recipes. So if you wish to implement yogic cooking at home and you want to learn some recipes, especially the ones which are made at the Isha Center, then you can get hold of this book called as Taste of Well-being. Otherwise, if you have come for our AHAR programs, if you come for our AHAR programs, we provide more than 200 recipes. You can even try them out. Otherwise, if you have a copy of this book, that should be a good start for you. You can try those recipes. It will be good for you. Get a copy of that book and start experimenting with it. It just requires you, to not use negative frantic ingredients. And if you are open with that, you will see that it's possible to make many recipes which are tasty and healthy as well. Okay. How to wake up early at Brahma Muhurtam? Okay. So this is a question which many people have about how to wake up early. So you will see that if you maintain in terms of having a healthy diet, if you can have a well balanced meal which has at least 50% raw food, and also if your meal timings are regulated, you will see that getting up early in the morning should not be a trouble for you. So one simple thing which you can do is see if you can have at least 50% raw food, and each morsel of food which you have, especially for dinner, what you can do is try to see if you can chew each morsel or each mouthful of food which you have at least 24 times. If you do this one thing of chewing every mouthful of food at least 24 times, you will see that most of the food will get digested in the mouth region itself, and your body will have very less load in terms of digesting food. So you will see that most of energy goes in digestion. So that is one of the reasons why people tend to sleep more. They need more sleep because they're hardly chewing the food, they're just gulping it down. So if you consciously chew your food, if you chew each mouthful at least 24 times, you'll notice that it'll be very easy for you to get up. You'll get up much earlier than the alarm bell rings. And if you sleep sufficiently early, for example, if you sleep by around 10 or so in the night, you will see that you might even get up at Brahma Muhurtam on your own. So this is something you can try. Just see if you can have an early meal for dinner, and before you sleep and after your meals, just see if there's at least 2 hours gap. So for example, if you have your finish your dinner by 7:30, and then by around 9:30, 10, if you can go to bed, then you will see getting up at Brahma Muhurtam is very much possible. And whenever you have your dinner, make sure that you at least chew each mouthful 24 times. So try these simple things and see. You will see it will be very easy. Apart from it, you can also do your yogic practices that will help you, especially if you're doing your asanas, your hatha yoga practices, and your kriyas. You will see that your system will get in tune, and getting up early will be much easier. Okay. I'm 17 years. Can I do intermittent fasting? See, it's up to you. If you are able to manage, we have seen a lot of people who are even less than 30 and they are able to manage with just 2 meals a day. So if you can manage, it's fine. Otherwise, need not push yourself. You can maybe just, instead of having three meals where you're just having grains, what you can do is maybe one meal you can have a fruit diet. So maybe for breakfast, try to see if you can go completely raw. And then lunch and dinner, you can have at least 50% raw and 50% cooked food. So that is also something which is fine. Otherwise, if you are able to manage easily with just 2 meals, then that is also fine. But this is the growing phase for you, so you need not push yourself. If it is possible for you, if you can manage easily, if you're doing some yogic practices as well, and if you can manage, then it is fine. Okay. What to eat in the morning for Ekadashi? See, already we looked at this. Ideally, it's best if you just have water. But if it's difficult for you, you can have something like ashgard juice. You can have sanjeevani porridge, or you can have fruits. So in the Isha Yoga Center, they usually serve ashgard juice and sanjeevani porridge in the morning, so that those who need this support, they can have this in the morning. Otherwise, those who can just do with water, they just skip this. Okay. If someone thinks, okay, this is already you covered. Mm, okay. Why Ekadasi is chosen on full moon and new moon day? Ekadashi is not chosen on full moon and new moon day. Full moon is Purnima and new moon is Amavasya. So those days are separate. Ekadashi is the 11th day of the lunar calendar. So what Sadhguru has mentioned is, like, different phases of the moon have different impacts on the system. So if one becomes aware, you will see that moon plays a huge role in terms of how you feel. So on certain days, for example, on Purnami, on Ekadashi, on Purnami and Amavasya, you will see that when it's a new moon or it's a full moon, there's a certain upsurge in the energies in the human system. So if one is conscious, they can make use of these 2 days, especially for one's inner growth. It's not that it's not possible on other days, but it's just that on these days it becomes more easier because there's a natural support from nature. So similarly, all these days in the lunar calendar, each one of them has a particular significance, and you will see that if you are in tune with this, you will see that the body behaves differently on each particular day. So you can just try to be more aware. And Sadhguru was mentioning that if you start doing yogic sadhana, over a period of time, you may even be able to be notice or make out which phase of the moon it is, even without looking at the moon. Because what is happening inside your system is just a replica of what's happening outside in the cosmos. Especially, we are very closely connected with the sun, moon, and the earth cycles. These three are very play a very huge role in our lives. You also know that if our mothers were not in tune with the moon cycles, we wouldn't have been born because their monthly cycles are in tune with the lunar cycles, which also happen once in about 28 days. So the human system is very closely connected with the cycles of the moon, and it's best if we are in also tune with that and make use of these days. So days like Ekadashi, Purnami, Amavasya, these days have a certain significance because there's a certain support from nature on these days. So we can just be conscious of that and make use of it. But it's not that we should just be doing sadhana on these days and ignore the rest of the days. If you are on the path of yoga, then all 365 days should be important for you. It's just that on these particular days, you can maybe derive extra benefit in terms of making use of the natural upsurge of energies. Okay. 20. Okay, we'll just look at last question. Can we fast for a few days continuously? So again, this is something which some people do. They are able to fast for a few days, especially if they go, for a program like a detox program. Sometimes they advise you to fast for a few days continuously, and or otherwise just go on a water diet or on a juice diet, etc. So I would just say that you have to just look at your system and see. There is no harm in fasting, but fasting has to be done consciously. It should not be forcing your system. It should be something which is not a torture to the system. It should be something which should be done consciously. Otherwise, I've seen this that for many people, if they fast, if they try to torture the system and fast, you will see that they will crave for more food after it, and they will try to make up for it. So Ekadashi or any other day is not the time for you to fast, forcibly, and then after that make up for it the next day. If this is something which you're doing, you'll notice that on Ekadashi night when you break your fast, you will tend to have more food than what you usually do, because your system is, you're trying to push your system too hard, and by the time it breaks the fast, it feels like as if it has to make up for whatever it has lost. So if you just become conscious of this, you will see that over a period of time, you should be able to fast effortlessly. And even while breaking the fast, it shouldn't feel like as if the system has gone through a lot of struggle. And very effortlessly, you should be able to manage whatever you're having in terms of your meals. It shouldn't be that you're making up for whatever you lost in the day. It's not that you have double the quantity of that, or it's not that because you're fasting tomorrow, today night you had double of what you usually have. So that's not the way to fast. So this is not about doing a particular feat. It's just being conscious. So as I said, this is just about this. Just seeing when the system doesn't need food and doing away without food on that particular day. So some people ask this question that I'm aware of these days when my system can go without food and it doesn't coincide with Ekadashi. Is it fine to do on those days? It's fine, you can even do on those days. But most people will not have this awareness because they're not very conscious of how the system is behaving. But if you have this awareness, then you know which days are these. Because every 40 to 48 days, Sadhguru says that at least 3 days will be there when you can go without food very easily. So don't get into fasting as a thing of trying to prove something to anyone. So if you feel that there's a need, if in consultation with a physician, maybe if you're taking Ayurveda treatment or naturopathic treatment or etc., and if in consultation with them, if they're suggesting for a particular ailment or because of a certain benefit, then under guidance you can do it. But without guidance, if you're just going on fasting for extended periods of time without having the necessary awareness and forcibly fasting, then it may not be a very good thing to do. So just see if you can consciously fast and not just trying to fast for some particular benefit without being aware or without guidance. So generally, it's best that at least once in 14 days you can easily fast. Apart from it, if you can manage, if this is something which can happen very consciously for you, and you don't have to struggle, if your sadhana is going on well and very easily you can manage, then it is fine. Okay, so we'll close now. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope it was useful for you. And if this has helped you to at least fast tomorrow, so I would hope to hear from all of you. See if you can fast tomorrow, and preferably if you can go with with just water, you can survive with water. That's the best way. If not, try to have something light like ashgat juice, fruits, or porridges. And also, when you break the fast, see if you can have a lighter diet. For example, if you just go to our YouTube channel, you will see that there is a video on how to break Ekadashi fast. In that video, we have also shared a few recipes in the description, a link to a blog where there are a few recipes, Ekadashi recipes, which you can try out. For example, porridges or black pea, sundal. So there are certain things which are easy for the system to digest, and especially when you break the fast, it's suggested that you have something lighter. A lighter meal is best because after 24 hours you don't want to give food which is difficult for the system to digest. So it's good that you have something lighter for your Ekadashi meal. So please go through that. There's a lot of information available. If you're having neem and turmeric, that you can definitely have continue to have on Ekadashi also tomorrow. So that's perfectly fine. And just see whichever day works for you in terms of your calendar. And if you're from some other time zone or country, you can see which day Ekadashi falls for you and you can do accordingly. And be a part of the group which we have. So if you haven't joined already, you can just go to yogire.com/WhatsApp or just go to our website yogire.com and you'll find the link to join. So please be part of it, and that way you can stay updated about various happenings with us, our programs, and also Ekadashi reminders and sharings, etc., which will help you stay inspired on the path of yoga. So look forward to connect with all of you again. Thank you so much for your time, and wish you a very happy and successful Ekadashi fast tomorrow. Namaskaram.